Welcome to the Ray Code. On this channel, we will explore design patterns across multiple programming languages, including C++, C#, Java, and JavaScript, and PHP. In this video, we will look at the chain of responsibility design pattern. I'll be using JavaScript. If you're interested in learning design patterns across multiple languages, be sure to follow this channel and connect with me on my social media like Facebook and X. Now let's get started. What is the chain of responsibility design pattern? The chain of responsibility pattern is a behavioral pattern that lets you pass a request along a chain of handlers, where each handler decides whether to process or pass it along. Think of it like a customer service line. If the first person can't help, they pass you to the next until someone handles your issue. Why would I use it? When you want to avoid coupling the sender of the request to its receiver. We have multiple objects that might handle a request, but you don't know which one ahead of time. We want to build flexible dynamic chains for handling commands or events. Benefits of the chain of responsibility pattern: makes it easier to add or remove handlers without breaking other parts of the system. Encourages loose coupling between sender and receiver of requests. Supports flexible, reusable workflows where the order of handlers can change dynamically. Summary: the chain of responsibility is about passing the buck until someone takes it. I'll forward your call until the right person can answer it. It's great for building flexible pipelines and event handling systems. This is a UML diagram for the chain of responsibility design pattern. Client starts the chain by making a request. Doesn't worry about who will handle it. Just give it to the first in the link of the chain. Example: I need this done. Whoever can handle it, please do. Handle sets the rule that every handle can either deal with the request or pass it along. Keeps a reference to the next handle in the chain. Think of it as, if I can't do it, I'll ask the next person. Concrete handler knows how to handle specific types of requests. If it recognizes the request, it just takes care of it. If not, it simply says, not mine, passing it along, forward it to the next handler. Hello, I'm Ray, the Ray in the Ray Code. In this show, I plan to give you a presentation of the design pattern called chain of responsibility, which happens to be a creation design pattern according to the game 4. In this demo, I'll be using JavaScript. I will also try to use the same names that for classes that are used in the book by the game 4 Elements of Reusable Code. We begin with creating an abstract class or interface we call handler. Here is the class structure. We add a constructor that will add the next handler to the chain. We set the successor of the chain, and we handle the request. We export this module to use in our demo. Now we create a class we call Concrete Handler 1. We require the abstract class handler at the top. Concrete Handler 1 will be extended with the handler. We pass a request into the handler request method. If the request is greater or equal to 0 and is less than 10, we can use it. But if it's not, we pass the request to the next successor. We expose this module for use in our demo. Let's create another class we call Concrete Handler 2. At the top, we require Handler Abstract class. Concrete Handler 2 is extended with the Handler class. We add a Handle Request method which accepts a request. If the request is between 10 and 20, it is accepted. Else, it is passed to the next handler. And we export this module for use in our demo. Let's create a third class that is also extended with the handler. At the top, we require the handler, so we may extend this class with it. We create a method to handle the request that will be passed in. We process the request if the value is between 20 and 30, including 20. Else, it will be passed to the next handle. We end this class with an export for our demo. Let's create a client class. The client is where we do our demo. We start with a static run. We require all three of the concrete handlers. We set H1, 2, and 3 H3 respectively to a new concrete handler. We set the successor of H1 and H2, and we set the successor of H2 and H3, creating a chain. We create an array of requests, and for each request we have it handled. We start with H1 to create a chain of requests, and we expect this module for use in our demo. Let's go to the index to complete our demo. We require the client that we just created. We run at the client and we get client sending requests to concrete handler 1, handle request to concrete handler 1, handle request 5, handle concrete, client sending request 14, all the way 22, 30, and you see concrete handler 3, no handler for 30. My name is Ray. I hope you always have a nice day and code with a smile. SWOT analysis of the design pattern called chain of responsibility in Java. S. Strengths. Simplified client code by removing knowledge of who handles what requests. Makes it easy to chain without affecting the client. Support flexible and reusable request handling pipelines. W. Weaknesses. Can be hard to debug since many requests may pass through many handlers. May result in requests not being handled if no handler takes responsibility. Adds complexity if the chain becomes too long or poorly organized. O. Opportunities. Helps juniors learn decoupling and modular request processing techniques. Encourage designing systems that can grow or change handler order easily. Builds understanding for event systems, middleware, and interceptors. T. Threats. Overuse may lead to tangled chains with unclear responsibilities. Improperly designed chains might skip critical processing steps. Performance may suffer if too many handlers are involved. And that is the chain of responsibility design pattern using JavaScript. If this video is helpful and helped you understand the design pattern, please like this video and subscribe and support the channel. You can find a full list of the code in my GitHub site, also an article that I post on the raycode.org. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next design pattern.